What's up, everybody? Shinmoki here, and today we're taking a look at the SMITE proposed rework for Loki. So this is just a proposition for the rework. They're not just gonna throw the rework out there and be like, "Yep, this is the rework. Have fun, guys." So they're looking for a little bit of input on the god, and so with Loki, I think it's almost 2K worshippers across all accounts. I mean, it's not like the most or anything, or even touching people like Professor Loki, who says that Loki does not indeed need a rework, which I think is incorrect. I think Loki definitely needs to see straight up ability changes, like changing the two, changing maybe how his invis works and such. So I do think that just leaving the god completely untouched is goofy. I think that's very goofy, because he's just complete cancer to play around in any game mode, really. He really only can't cancer it up in like assault, and even then he can be really annoying because he can just give you like free push. But we're gonna take a look at their proposed rework. Hopefully Hyra sees this, they see what I think about it, and so on and so forth. So let's get started. So here they're just talking about why they're reworking, Jesus Christ. So this they're just explaining why they're reworking Loki, and I think it makes complete sense. I think people really overrate how popular Loki is. Like, guys, this isn't 2015 anymore. People aren't picking Loki every game. Also, they are absolutely not pub stomping smurfing with him. Okay? Like, can he still completely run a smurf game? Absolutely. But I mean, guys, get your head out of when you first started playing. The amount of gods that can just completely ruin a game of Smite if they're being played by a smurf with low-level players, it's just insane. You're looking at like Achilles, Sasano, Pele, Daji, still Anubis for that matter. Low-level players just don't know how to deal with some of these insane characters now, and it's just we need to get it out of our head that Loki is just completely ridiculous at pub stomping low-level games. I don't think that's really a problem, and I don't think he's as popular as people think he is. Really, I mean, I think people are really stuck in the past with that notion. The criteria too here, balance. Especially after the nerf to the auto attack chain, yeah, Loki's really bad. Like, in terms of the damage he puts out and the way he gets himself into team fights is just so far behind who we have now. You know, even in Ao Kwang, who came out in season 1, like he's still so far behind what a character like that is capable of, in how he plays. So he is really not very good, and all he's good at is pressing 2 on the wave and solo lane. That's all he can do. Split pushes all game, and you can actually win off the back of that. It's not in how he plays himself as an assassin, it's how he plays himself as Loki ability 2 bot. That's his strength, and I think that's shit. So the community request, everyone hates Loki, so yeah, that's fair. So here they're talking about how they want to keep his playstyle and how they want to keep some of his unique features. And I'll be honest, we're just going to skip through this. You guys can read it for yourself if you'd like. But let's get down to the actual pitch here. So let's just read right through that, okay? So they're going to revert the nerf of the hit of his first chain. You'll see why in a minute here. And then passive behind you. This is now going to work with some of his other abilities, which I think is cool, I guess. I mean, you could just keep it on the auto attacks, really. Just based on how these abilities are looking. And so Vanish here, minor rework, takes slightly longer for Loki to become fully invisible. Fair, yeah, maybe you don't want that being a thing, having to be instantly invisible. And then anytime Loki takes damage while stealth, his full god model with a shadow texture will be revealed for a fraction of a second. Yeah, so I'm guessing this will look like how he looks when he dies a phoenix or something, or a tower. That's fair, yeah, that sounds good to me. So just pop in for a second, pop back out. That's fair. I do have to say, I want to know how this will work with dots. Just because, do you really want him to be revealed for the whole duration or just once per ability? I think that might be a little bit more fair. Then here's one where I really find issue. Of course, we need the current 2 gone. Current 2 doesn't need to exist. So full rework here into ability called Agonizing Venom. I'm thinking it's probably what it's called. It's probably not called Ranged Circle Targeter, is what I'm guessing. And then Loki, just guys, the description here I think is really bad from Hi-Res here. Loki summons a vision of his past to torment and poison enemies. A spectral version of Loki bound by chains with poison dripping onto his face is summoned to a location. Way too much description. Okay, just say an area is created similar to the size of the current decoy. That's all you guys need to say there. We don't need the full visual representation because now I'm visualizing like Loki just dripping, just fluids, okay? We don't need that. So, and then enemies nearby take damage every second. Enemies hit 4 times by this become blinded. Blinded enemies now take damage from behind you, regardless of where he is. So, tick 6 times, total of 3 seconds. This sounds really garbage, I'll be honest. Like, this doesn't make sense as an ability. As far as I can tell, it doesn't slow. So I guess you go invis, pop 2 on somebody, and then use his 3 or his ults, is what I'm assuming, and you just hold them in there. But that sounds really bad and not a fun ability to use. And I think this is sort of, this is one issue I have with this rework. It's sort of redefining how Loki is being played now. I know, like, the current 2 doesn't even play a role other than if you want, like, an auto-attack cancel in the current gameplay style if you're actually going for a kill for once. But yeah, I really don't like this ability. And let's move on to the 3, which is now fully reworked as well, and I'll get to why I hate that in a second. So, full rework, flurry of daggers, cone, narrow, medium range. Loki channels into a combat stance, rapidly attacking all enemies in the area in front of him. These attacks can benefit from the bonus damage right behind you if they hit enemies in the back. And I really don't like this because it is absolutely nothing like what Loki currently has. And you could say I'm contradicting myself because I'm saying, you know, the god's outdated and such, so maybe he does need something added to him. But this is so anti-current Loki, it hurts to read. Like, a cone channeled ability, absolutely nowhere in my mind do I think that when I think Loki. Like, here's the thing, they're talking about the speed of Loki, and the current Loki 3, there aren't that many auto attack enhancements in the game, you know, single auto attack enhancements like in League of Legends, where there's just plenty of them. And I think it's fine to have. Like, do people really think Loki is just going to auto attack and then not 3 right after? It has a huge sound effect and such. I think, like, do you really think your players have 1 brain cell left? Like, they can hear the 3, they know it's coming, and they can usually aegis it. I think it's not necessarily a fun ability per se, but I mean, it is, you can react to it, absolutely. And I think it's just nice to have a little auto attack, simple auto attack enhancement like that in the game, you know? So, about the flurry of daggers itself, I've already told you guys I hate this. I hate the idea of agonizing venom. That sounds like a really stupid idea to put on a stupid thing to put on an assassin, because this to me sounds like, I don't even, it doesn't even, maybe a warrior or guardian type ability. It doesn't sound like an assassin ability. You're supposed to be bursting people down, and you're like, I'm going to have you sit in this tool for a second, Spicer. And it's doesn't scream assassins, but we still do want an ability for Loki to be able to clear the jungle. So my proposition, just screw agonizing venom, don't need it, and then put the 3 back here, and then maybe move Flurry of Daggers or something similar to the 2 ability. And I was thinking, you know, if you guys really love this idea, if you think it's great, okay, put it on the 2. But I'm thinking that instead we just have something like a Kali Q from League of Legends. And what I mean by that, at moderate range. It's really spammable on Akali in League of Legends, but of course I think we would want to change that with Loki. But I do think it would be a lot more interesting than having to, I'm going to put you in the tool, please come over to the tool. Instead of having that, we just have an ability where we invis, right, wait for the invis to be total, and then we go in, and if we can get to auto attack range, we're able to auto 3, auto 2, you know, just have a quick boom, right? Just be able to burst like other assassins do. All assassins have, well, not all assassins, but most assassins have a burst ability like that. No reason to have some channeled abilities like this. Just have a quick bop bop, right? Or if you can't get in range of them, invis, and then use the little, use the quote-unquote Akali Q to slow them down a little bit. I would like to have a slow on it. Maybe you don't want Loki having a range slow, but if it's medium range, it wouldn't be that impactful, is my thinking. In this sense, we can keep Loki as, you know, an assassin. He is a squishy assassin. He should be able to burst people. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Sort of help him keep his identity and not have stupid channeled abilities like the 2 and the 3 you're proposing, but have a similar idea, is what I'm thinking. And then the ultimate ability, Assassinate, here. Minor rework, increase time between teleport and damage stun. So ability has 2 firing phases. First, Loki teleports to a target location. No enemy, nothing happens. Additional, if there is a god in that area, the god closest to the center takes the damage and becomes crippled. Then Loki automatically does a follow-up short-range cone attack that deals additional damage and stuns. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking with this. We're just slowing Loki down to truly a slug pace. He is too fast currently, but now you're just moving him to the point that he's like slower than the slowest assassins can kill people. I'm feeling. Of course, they don't give us time. They don't give us the amount of time that all this takes. Maybe it is really quick, and if it is really quick, well, maybe. But what is this short-range cone attack? Why do we need that? All you need to do is, I feel with this, all you need to do is just have it like Dodgy 3 currently is, where there's a sound cue on the player that she's about to go on, right? In addition to clear visual representation, and then she jumps to them. All you need to do is maintain the current damage stun. However, have that little indicator, clear indicator for the player that is targeted, that they are being Loki ulted, you know? That's all you need to do. We don't need all of these little extra things that if you're brain dead, you can not Aegis everything, and then wait a second, then Aegis, and then you're good. Again, I don't have the amount of time all of this takes, so maybe it is actually that quick, but the way they are saying this works sounds way too slow for Loki, or any good assassin in this day and age. So all in all, I prefer my version of the new Assassinate, where it's just a clear indicator that you're being Loki ulted with a slight wind-up. And I like the idea of the new aim strike, but I think we keep the current one and move if you really want the channeled cone ability on his main minion damage ability, okay, but I would prefer a little bop, a little splash of damage that deals damage and slows for like a second. You know, no big slows here. Slows for a second so you can maybe catch up to people or maybe just poke people, right? Just bring them in line a little bit more with more assassins. I like their changes to vanish. I think that's great. And of course, if we are going with my idea, we do not want this back. We do not want 100% on his first auto attack in that situation. Yeah, all things considered, really hate Agonizing Venom. Do not put that in the game. I would never put Loki again with that ability if it is as lame as I'm thinking it will be in this description. All right, well, that about wraps it up. You know, if this goes live, again, I will not level this 2. I'll pretend it doesn't exist. It wouldn't be bad having this specific one. I just prefer what I'm thinking for Loki at this point in time. You know, keep him. They're saying they don't want to change me. You're changing him too much, okay? You are completely changing the identity of him with these little short range ability telegraphed attacks, and it's the complete antonym of the current Loki, and that's really what I hate about it, is what I don't like about this particular rework. But that about wraps this up. So let me know what you guys think about the Loki rework, about my thoughts about it, and thank you for watching.